The following presentation is a VSW podcast presentation. Viewer discretion is advised. Dun 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 dun. VSW proudly presents the Beantown Sports Wolfcast. Oh, the Save Wolf with the caps. Dun 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 dun. Hey everybody, this Sir Wolf here, and today on the Sports Wolfcast, we will preview the Boston Celtics First Round playoff series against the high-flying Brooklyn Nets, number 2 seed Brooklyn Nets, and the Celtics are the number 7 seed, which is pretty shocking. My main points I'm going to go over. Will the Nets run away with this, or will the Celtics, with their backs against the wall, pull up an upset? Find out more on the Beantown Sports Wolfcast. Cut it out, guys. I know you're excited to hear my thoughts. I am too. Let's get started, shall we? Okay, so coming into the season in the age of unknowns with the COVID-19 pandemic situation, last season the NBA played most of their postseason resumption in Walt Disney World in a bubble in Orlando in the Disney Wide World of Sports complex. And the Celtics made a huge run into the Eastern Conference Finals, unfortunately falling flat to the Miami Heat, who's also in the playoffs this year, and which alternately lost to the LA Lakers for Kobe Bryant's passing. They won it for him. Now the Celtics and Lakers are neck and neck for most world titles all time in NBA. The Celtics for a while were only behind the Yankees and the Canadians in terms of total world titles in all of sports. And the thing is that coming into this season, the Celtics had all kinds of injury problems and some coach issues, supposedly. Brad Stevens is under fire. I don't think it's his fault. He does a great job for the team with all the conference championships the Celtics made in the past, right after Paul Pierce left. And I wouldn't give the guy all the heat in the world. It's hard with this season with the breakouts they had, and Kemba Walker's been injured a lot, and Jaylen Brown is unfortunately out for the postseason. But Jason Tatum, he's becoming an all-star to the likes of LeBron James and Stephen Curry and even Kevin Durant. Speaking of Durant, he got signed from the Golden State Warriors this season with the Brooklyn Nets, and they traded for James Harden from the Rockets in the offseason. And unfortunately, Kyrie Irving betrayed the Boston fan base and refused to play in big games. He still doesn't show up prior to the pandemic for when the Celtics play. He makes up an injury and everything. I really hate the Nets. They're becoming like the Yankees in New York. How ironic it's Boston versus New York in the first round. And even the Knicks have made the playoffs on the other side of MSG in that state. And the Celtics are the underdogs, which is shocking to many people. And ironically, the Lakers have won their play-in tournament in the other side too, which garnered a record-breaking 6.1 ratings for a regular season with their playing against the Golden State Warriors. Boy, that is amazing. But anyways, we're sticking to the Celtics, who played the Wizards to advance to the 7th seed in this new play-in format they introduced last year in the NBA in the pandemic offseason. I think the Celtics beat the Wizards, obviously, but I think they do stand a chance against the Nets. A lot of people think they're all done, but I don't think so. I think they're going at least 7. If they make it out of the first round, that's a big if nowadays. They have a chance to go all the way far. The NBA, it doesn't mean the 1 seeds or 2 seeds automatically make it to the conference finals respectively anymore. We saw last year with the Heat as a 6th seed making a run all the way to the finals, unfortunately knocking the Celtics quite out. And if the Celtics are going to win, they're going to have to get in Kyrie's head, make Kyrie Irving get a bunch of fouls, and they have to limit Kevin Durant and James Harden somehow. James Harden is one of the greatest rebound leaders in all of NBA right now. But the Celtics got Kemba Walker, too, who's coming back. The Celtics were down all 3 regular season meetings, including the season opener on Christmas Day at the TD Garden. And with Governor Baker's big announcement about the Boston Celtics and Bruins and Red Sox and Patriots being able to have up to 100% capacity Saturday, May 29th of Memorial Day weekend. That is amazing. I am excited. And hopefully that will help the Celtics get the energy up, because when the Garden is rocking, it is a tough place for opposing teams to play. And the good thing about the NBA is, unlike the NHL, they space out their first round games a lot, make sure their series starts and ends on a weekend, so they have so many days without games. It will actually benefit the Celtics, I believe, this year, because they can eat all the rest they can get. And if the Celtics are going to win, they're going to have to contain, like I said, Durant and Harden a lot. They're going to have to get in the Nets' head, because the Nets think they're going to run away with this. All the experts are doubting the Celtics, trying to create a Brad Stevens coaching controversy, which Stevens is a good coach. They're not going to go down and get swept by the Nets. I really don't think so. So to answer the question I had in my description, will the Celtics pick out a game in New Jersey or Brooklyn, I shall say, because they're in the Barclays Center? I think the Celtics won't win tonight, but they'll win Monday night and pull one of those games out. I think they'll lose by 10 points tonight. I hate to say it, but Game 2, they're going to be motivated and come back with a strong performance to win by at least 3 points. So I'm expecting 1 game apiece going into Game 3. I apologize, folks, if this isn't the most stat-driven. This is my first ever Celtics cast. Now that I know the Spreaker app, I will get all your Boston teams on time in the future, including next year. I'll be even more motivated to make this the best Wolfcast Boston has ever seen. And remember, bleed green. Jason Tatum will carry them all the way. And go Celtics, baby. And the Sable signing off. We'd like to thank you for watching the VSW Podcast feature presentation. Da-da!